I bet you did not know, and I guarantee you did not know, that there was a way to get what you want without actually getting what you want. What do I mean? Let's say you're playing a video game and you really want to beat that boss somewhere halfway through the game. There's a very challenging boss and he's very difficult to defeat. Now, in a fit of rage, you could pick up your controller and slam it or throw it across the room because fighting this boss is so infuriating. But what are you actually angry or cranky about in that moment? Are you angry or cranky because the boss keeps whooping your ass? Because the boss is so hard? Because this boss won't budge? Because this boss is just insanely difficult and the developers did an insane job at making this way too hard for you? In your relationship, this is the feeling you're probably going to be getting and feeling when a very difficult challenge comes your way, such as a divorce or a breakup or some type of verbal abuse or some other variation of very difficult relationship drama. Maybe your partner's cheating, maybe they're seeing some other people, maybe you don't really feel valued, maybe, they don't really ever talk to you, maybe they never open up and share the same values as you. All these little things, and these are like that big boss. It's just so hard to get through that. And you just want to pick up your controller and just throw it across the room and you just want to give up. And you don't really feel like playing the game anymore because you just can't beat it. But with the video game, right, when it comes to getting what you want without actually getting what you want, what the hell do I mean by this? What I'm saying is, you don't really feel upset because you can't beat the boss per se. What you actually feel upset by is that you don't have, in that moment at least, the ability to overcome that boss. You don't have the capacity to beat the boss. You are inadequate. You are incapable of overcoming that boss, essentially. And just like when all these relationship challenges come your way and they throw themselves at you because of the law of entropy and the theory of chaos, you actually feel inadequate. You don't feel equipped to be able to overcome those challenges, those boss fights in your life. And so it feels a lot easier, like the fox that looks up at the grapes and it can't reach those grapes. It's very easy to say, you know what? Those grapes were too high. But in reality, the fox could have done something else to try and still reach those grapes, that reward. These obstacles that come your way, they are challenging, they are hard. A lot of the time, these challenges come to you because you attracted them to you. These challenges came your way because of the law of compound interest, which means over a long period of time, small things accumulated to this moment. Death by a thousand cuts, the boiling water with the frog. You get the picture. Over time, little things have accumulated to this eventual growth of a flower, this eventual birth of a child, this eventual loaf that has been baked in the oven. This is essentially manifestation. When these things happen, maybe you lack the foresight to see how they got there in the first place. Maybe you're not well equipped enough to deal with these problems, and so you will need to retreat during these boss battles. Rather than chucking a hissy fit and retaliating with fire in return for the fire that you've been given, we take a step back and we keep training harder, we keep practicing, we keep becoming a better player in the game to overcome the boss eventually. Because after some time, the boss, you will actually overcome that boss if you keep practicing, if you keep becoming a stronger and more powerful player. It's not that the game is hard, right? It's just that maybe you don't know how to play the game how it's intended. Maybe you need to upgrade your knowledge in the game. Personally, me, right? Dark Souls, very challenging. I was so confused when I started that thing. There was no tutorials per se, not really, with the menu systems. Not even simple games like Kingdom Hearts. It's like, what the hell is XP, Final Fantasy? I can't wrap my head around that stuff sometimes. And it's not the game's fault a lot of the time. A lot of the time, it's you as the player. It is your fault if you can't overcome a boss. And when the boss defeats you, that's actually a good thing because it shows you that you have a weak spot. It shows you that you sucked at something. You made the wrong move. That's a good thing. Yes, it feels challenging, but it does show you where you need to improve. And if you choose not to improve and you just choose to take the disc out of the console and throw it in the bin because, you give up, then were you really ever going to beat that game at all? And so the real only way to overcome obstacles, the only real way to overcome these massive relationship problems that come into your life is to literally become a better player. Literally. I made a video about a year ago. If you're going to the Olympics as an archer and the desire to win the game is more likely to make you fail, the desire to win the tournament is more likely to end you up failing the tournament because you're focused on winning, you're focused on beating the boss instead of becoming a better archer. The only reason that you lose is because the trophy, the reward, was all that was on your mind. When really, the only thing that we need to be focusing on is ourselves. We need to become a better archer. By default, the reward will come to you. The trophy from winning the tournament will come to you naturally as a side effect, as a byproduct of you being the best archer. And so likewise, if you're able to overcome massive obstacles in your relationship dramas, this will be a side effect of you becoming a better communicator, you being a lot more in tune with your emotions, you being able to understand empathetically where the other party is coming from, being able to visually and mentally put yourself in your partner's shoes and experience what they're experiencing and relating, right? And understanding that maybe you did fall short, and rather than constantly blaming them and pointing the fingers at them and making them feel terrible, it's no wonder that these dramas keep coming into your life if you don't know how to overcome those obstacles. So where is your focus supposed to be? Your focus, is it supposed to be overcoming the boss? Is it supposed to be winning the tournament? Or is it supposed to be becoming a better player, becoming more equipped, becoming more powerful? To have is to be. Having is a side effect of being. If you want to have the reward, the trophy, that stuff, we focus not on that stuff. We don't focus on having these rewards. We don't focus on looking in the mirror and wishing what we see changed. We have to look at the source of our problems. If we are radically accountable and we change ourselves, we change our internal world, we change how we respond, we change how we overcome that obstacles, we adjust. Every time we fail, we adjust, we pivot, we become better, we become stronger. And with every single little iteration, we can then eventually overcome that very difficult boss battle. Just because someone is maybe in your relationship lying doesn't mean that person is a liar. If you were to believe that your romantic interest was a liar, then you have fallen and subjected yourself to the fundamental attribution error, which is one of the worst victim mindsets you could ever possess. And a lot of the time you might not even realize you're falling for that. The fundamental attribution error is basically where you attribute fault with someone's character inherently. Instead of looking at the environment, instead of looking at the systems and the components within those systems that actually cause or contribute to the outcome that you're seeing. And if you can become a much more equipped player to be able to modify and change and perhaps even repair the environment, then your partner, who let's say is lying, will stop lying at some point, because lying is like an act of self-preservation a lot of the time. You yourself, you probably tell lies every once in a while. Are you a liar just because you tell a lie here and there? Not necessarily. You have a good reason for telling a lie. You feel compassionate towards yourself. You have reasons. You have justifications as to why you might tell a lie, or as to why you might go behind your partner's back, or as to why you do something that is extraordinarily out there compared to maybe other people. But that doesn't mean that deep down you are that thing. You have a reason. And likewise, your partner has a reason. Your romantic interest has a reason for what they do. Let's say they block you. Are they blocking you because they're being malicious, because they hate you? And even if they say that they hate you, is it because they actually do? Or is it because they just want you to feel how much fear or pain they're experiencing, and they want to give you a taste of your own medicine? If my message hasn't come across to you, then the best thing you can do during a crisis, during adversity, is to simply remain calm and do nothing. Even if the situation calls for some type of action, just remain calm and take time before you do anything.